What's up, everybody? It is endmuser here with another video. As you can see, I can't get into Diablo 4 right now, so had a couple ideas for some videos for our channel, and this one is, what is a casual gamer? We hear this term thrown around all the time, and while I'm waiting to get into Diablo here, there was a hotfix today. It's July 27th. 2023, whenever you're watching this, but I'm like, you know what, let's just do a video or two. So what is a casual gamer? I've been hearing this a lot. Oh, look, never mind, we're not gonna do this video, just kidding. So I've been hearing this a lot I guess I don't know if I've been hearing that specifically a lot recently. I guess it's come up some, but in regards to Diablo. So I've been watching a lot of Darth microtransaction and Asmongold videos, and there's this guy that he's been reacting to a couple times recently named Hog. He's got a channel, and they talk about casual gamers in like a the way that a company like Blizzard is looking at a casual gamer, and probably a lot of times as we try ourselves in comparison to ourselves, what is a casual gamer? Am I a casual gamer? Are you a casual gamer? Who's a casual gamer? Who's a hardcore gamer? You know, whatever you want to call it, either spectrum. But so, you know, the first question is, it's like, okay, myself, what do I consider myself? Do I think I'm a casual gamer? Or I guess, what do I think a casual gamer is? I think a casual gamer is someone who has played video games in their life, off and on, or maybe here and there periodically, whatever. And, you know, a lot of times too, you hear people talk about like someone that just plays sports games every now and then. They're like the Madden player. They pick it up every few years. They play Madden. That's kind of, to me, a casual gamer. But then again, it feels like there's different areas of this. Like, also a casual gamer that, you know, a lot, I think, of the creators I was talking to are referring to is like what Blizzard looks at. How many of gamers are out there that buy Diablo 4 or buy Madden or this or that, and they just still, you know, walk into Target. You know, that's becoming a thing of old, as, you know, digital gaming purchasing and such has become more and more a thing. But they just walk in, or they see it on the store online, and they just pick it up. They don't know anything about the game. It looks cool, and they just play it. How, like, what's the ratio there between gamers like that and gamers like me, or maybe you, or Darth microtransaction, who's just Diablo. And, you know, there's a differentiation too, but some people do this for a living. They play games for a living, and some people play it in their spare time. Not to say that they wouldn't want to do it for a living, but, you know, they have a different kind of job, 40 hours a week, and then they play video games in their spare time. So my thing is I feel like there's one way into the spectrum of a casual gamer is that person that, and this is total, I'm not, any of these areas is a fine way to play games. I feel like maybe even a lot more people would enjoy games. You know, they just maybe were never introduced to it, or it never came across their radar growing up, or, you know, whatever it may be. But someone who like they're like, oh, the new Madden's out, I'm gonna get it, or the new Destiny expansion's out, I'm gonna pick, this looks cool, I'm gonna buy this expansion. We used to talk about it on the podcast a lot, like a new Destiny player, how overwhelming that must seem, especially, you know, depending on your layer, I guess, where you fit into the gaming spectrum. So someone who just buys a game old school, like, back in the day when I was a kid, I got a magazine once a month to see the game previews that were coming out next year, maybe. You know, it wasn't just all this just constant feed of information. I just noticed I got a ability point I need to put on a perk there. So it wasn't this constant feed, you know, like if there was, literally as I grew up, it's like more and more of this online news and such became a thing. Like I got GamePro, and Game Informer obviously was around for a long time. We'd get demos when we would pick up games at GameStop, you know? So someone who still kind of just the game looks cool. This is, I mean, we used to go rent video games. How many of you did this? Comment below. We used to go rent video games at Blockbuster or wherever, or go to GameStop, and we would just look on the shelves for a game that looked cool that we hadn't heard of. Like, oh, there's got to be a hidden gem in here somewhere. Because, you know, we played, there were one or two games that were like a little later in life, but Oblivion was one of them. Like, wow, dude, you could play Oblivion all year long. But even more, that was more extreme even in my younger years before Oblivion. Now it's like we know it's coming out. We know it way in advance. We know, you know, different things about it. Now, again, I'm saying that that's my experience, but maybe to a even more, I guess, casual gamer. And the whole fact of casual gaming being like a negative thing, it's not, I don't consider it a negative thing. You just casually play video games. It's not something that you do every day, or, you know what I mean? Something like that. But so someone who still kind of is in that spectrum of like, oh, this game looks cool. I haven't played anything in a good while. I'm going to try this. And a lot of people, it's probably happened with Diablo here. But I wonder how many, especially now, how many gamers are actually in that spectrum or that bubble of that percentage of the overall, you know, idea, or the overall, you know, spectrum of gamers, if you will. Like me, I guess, and the other aspect of this is how much time you play games, how much time you have to play games, or how much time you make to fit gaming into your schedule. Obviously, if it's like anything else, if it's something you really enjoy, you're probably going to make more time for it. I know, you know, the older I've gotten and having a family, which, you know, my kiddos are, slow it down, but, you know, they're at the point they've been playing video games for a little while, you know, certain video games, but, it's like gaming isn't my priority, but it's definitely top on my list of my hobbies that I enjoy. And it's like anything else, you know, like baseball is a hobby, or doing any of that with my kiddos. Our kiddos is even more fun. So for me, and comment below what level of gamer you consider yourself. So of course I work 40 hours plus, you know, 40 hours a week. I don't know about 40 plus, but and with gaming, you know, not being a priority, it's, you know, it's family, work. Those are the priorities. Gaming is something I very much enjoy and I make time for, but it's behind all of those things. But with that said, I'm reading gaming news. I'm doing a game. I mean, I guess here's another factor. We have a gaming YouTube channel. So I don't know what level you'd consider yourself automatically if you have a gaming YouTube channel. But I'm staying in touch. I mean, I'm usually, typically on most days, I'm pulling up gaming news. I'm reading different stuff, listening to gaming podcasts. And I'm, you know, playing several days a week for different, you know, varying amounts of time. I'm reading patch notes on whatever game I'm into at that time. You know, I'm doing all that kind of stuff. So I think I'm probably, I mean, you guys let me know, is that well past the threshold of just gaming being kind of an extracurricular thing that you do here and there? So I guess, you know, part of the reason that made me think to make this video was hearing those creators that I told you about talk about casual gamers as it relates to big companies like Blizzard or Bungie, and how they structure their game to, I guess, you know, attract this huge broad spectrum of the different types of gamers that are out there. And I really wonder, and I'm sure you could go into the weeds and figure out, you know, like how much money they're making, you know, maybe certain statistics out there, or even in their, you know, financial statements and stuff. But like what made me think of this a little bit was I was watching Asmongold react to the Hog YouTuber about, you know, maybe what some of Blizzard's strategy is right now with Diablo 4, and how they're delivering the game as it relates to the different ways people consume the game and the amounts that they consume the game. And he had financial statements pulled up, and his big thing is he's talking about seasons and why they're seasons, and there's quarterly earnings reports, and this is, potentially why they're doing this and this and this. And it all, I mean, they're very valid opinions, very valid, thought out, researched opinions. And it made me wonder how many gamers are there out there that aren't, I guess you could say, like me, or even to the next level or several levels to Darth Microtransaction, who's playing the game for a living. So I'm curious what you guys think. What is a casual gamer to you? What is a hardcore gamer? What is, and I called this video, "What is a casual gamer?" But it's really, what is a gamer? What is the spectrum there? And what dictates that? Again, I think there's multiple things kind of that we've talked about already. But it's interesting, how much money do you think they make by having battle passes, having quarterly seasons? It's silly to think that they don't, to at least some degree, just like anything else, structure this stuff while still creating a fun game. They structure this stuff to bring in the most revenue they possibly can. Now, your hope would be that they're still building a great game. They're not, doing anything, I guess, the classic pay to win, all that kind of stuff. So, you want a happy balance with both things. But just for fun, I Googled, as you can see here, I've had it pulled up this whole time. I Googled, what is a casual gamer? And some of this stuff is just kind of funny. The term, this is casual gaming, but a casual gamer is a player who enjoys any video game without investing significant time to it, playing it spontaneously or regularly or frequently. The term casual may also be a derogative noun. Again, it's just, I don't think casual gamer is at all. So is it okay to be a casual gamer? For many casual gamers, is an acceptable circumstance. They do not have to dedicate an inordinate amount of time to be immersed in a world of gameplay. For them, gameplay is defined by the amount of time that they can invest first and the player experience second. That's, that's just interesting. Classic, what we do this day and age with Google. And obviously don't believe everything you Google and all that good stuff. But this was pretty interesting. This was a post on Reddit from 2014. So we're talking almost 10 years ago. According to the Urban Dictionary, casual gamer is a person often referring to gamers or any other target that isn't really into it and only does this activity on an infrequent basis while being terrible at it. Can be described as weak sauce or non-MLG pro. This is funny, from 9 years ago. However, my friends seem to disagree with this and give various statements that seem to imply that additional criteria is involved. It's funny because this user deleted. Probably had no idea we would refer to this 9 years later. So some examples from their friends. Someone that is extremely good, this is what they consider casual gamers. Someone that is extremely good at competitive Pokemon, but doesn't attend VGC events, which is interesting. Players of Dark Souls consider anyone that still plays Pokemon a casual. And then Nintendo systems are for casuals. I have heard that before. So it's like, I've definitely heard that about Nintendo systems. But Nintendo is kind of more of a family console, I guess you could say. And not just that, but it's definitely more family friendly than others. But it's like, okay, so let's look at some of the replies here. First of all, I don't think someone that is extremely competitive at Pokemon but doesn't attend VGC, I guess you could maybe call them a casual Pokemon player. But if you're pretty competitive at something, I wouldn't think you're a casual. Looking at some of the comments, I always thought casual gamer means someone who plays games in their spare time and doesn't put a lot of dedication in it. Not someone who plays games as a living like on Twitch. Or someone who plays those MMORPG type games for like 10 hours. Sorry for my bad English, I'm from England. So, interesting. I consider myself casual. I play a lot in a week though, but I'm not competitive and often switch games. I consider it not being very dedicated to one game. I'm no pro in anything and wouldn't bother with official rankings, just playing to have fun. See, I don't consider this casual. Someone who plays a lot in a week but they're not competitive and often switch games. I mean, I usually dedicate, you know, I like to have a main investment game, but I play a lot of different games too. It's like I don't know. I don't know that I consider that casual. What do you guys think? What, again? Let me know below. I like a lot of other phrases mean depends on the speaker. There is no definitive meaning because it's used in widely different, sometimes mutually incompatible ways by so many different people, and it'll be rare to find any two people who agree 100%. Okay. I mean, it's pretty similar to what we've been talking about. Again, this is a very old post. But yeah, anyways, just kind of a fun video. I'm just curious what you guys think a casual or a hardcore gamer is and where you fall in that spectrum. Let us know in the comments below. I don't know. It's definitely an interesting topic. I'm sure we can expand or elaborate or talk about it even more, and maybe some of your comments will think of some other things we can help us think of some other things we can talk about maybe in a future video. But yeah, just a fun topic. Appreciate all the support as always. We did just hit a milestone. We busted into the 250 plus threshold for subscribers, which is an awesome milestone for us. I mean, we started out and we had just a 3 subscribers, which was us. And so to have 256 is pretty awesome. It's fun to create something, from the beginning. So anyways, very much appreciate that. If you guys haven't already, jump in our Discord. We got a lot of people chatting in there. It's just, as you can see, gaming, collecting, and community. Just a fun environment, like-minded people to talk about games, talk about movies, talk about whatever you want. So again, appreciate all the support. Thank you very much for the 250 subs, and we appreciate it. As always, until next time, take care.